Hello and welcome everyone to Win It Wednesday. That's what I've decided to call today. So if you're like, I thought we were at the You Are Not Alone web series. You are. You're in the right place. I'm like, what have I got going on? Oh, that's my ponytail. So you're in the right place. I've decided to call it Win It Wednesday. And you want to know why? Because every day we tend to focus, and as a society, and I do the same thing. I'm actually going to take this off of here. As a society, we like to focus on the negative things that happen, and it happens. So what I want you guys to do, and I know, and the reason why I want you to do it is because I know that there were wins in your day today. Whether they were big wins or whether they were small wins, there were wins in your day today. So I want you guys to sit down and take like just a minute before we start this series, this presentation today, and think about the wins that you had today. So it could be as little as you got out of bed and you made it to right now. Okay, it can literally be as little as that. That is, I don't want to call that a little win. That is a huge win, So congratulations if that's your win for today. For myself, I hit my commission bonus today. Well, actually it was yesterday. So that's my win, okay. So again, find the wins in your day because it's so important to have that positive mindset and to be, putting that positivity out into the air. It'll come back at you. I promise you. All right, everyone. Well, we are here today to do our last of this web series, the You Are Not Alone web series put on by the DAO. Before we get into the presentation, I just wanted to thank the funders that made this web series possible. So the Government of Canada, ECSF, the Community Foundations of Canada, CFC, and Durham Community Foundation, DCF. So it's because of their funding that we are able to put this, we were able to put this series on for you. So thank you to all of the funders for being with us. Okay. So it's Pink Shirt Day, everyone. Do you guys all have your pink shirts? So I want you guys to drop a comment. I don't know where it is on your guys' screen. Drop a comment down below if you guys wore your pink shirts. Let us see them. I want to see your pink pride. So a Pink Shirt Day is for anti-bullying. We wear these shirts in solidarity. And you guys will see our guest who is going to be giving the art therapy presentation today. We're twinning today. So we're looking fancy, we're looking pink, we're looking cute, pretty and pink. I've got my Minnie Mouse ears on too, Miss Pink Minnie Mouse, because I am a Disney fanatic. Okay, I just want to look at the thing here. Hey, is the bar open tomorrow? I wish. Unfortunately, I do not believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone, but we're not quite there yet. I know that they're doing some intense cleaning in that bar, so we're gonna get this. All right. Well, without further ado, I know you guys didn't come to see me today, but thank you so much for having me here. I've been honored and blessed to be able to host the last 5 weeks of the You Are Not Alone series. I'm so excited to be here today and participate in the art therapy put on by Mary at the LivingRoom. So without further ado, let's bring her on. All right, folks. Drop all the hand clapping, the woohoo, and let's welcome Mary.
Hey!
Hello. I don't know if you've ever seen me present before, but I'm wild, so.
I'm liking it. Oh, this is such a great, thank you so much, folks, for welcoming me into this community. I love this. I'm so happy to be here. Please feel free to chat and talk with me. Amber, I don't know if I'll be able to see everyone's comments where I'm at right now. So can you help me out and flag things if you see them?
Absolutely, I will.
Awesome. Okay, feel free to drop in, and let me know when people are asking questions or sharing stuff. Yeah?
I will for sure.
Okay, perfect.
So before we get into it, I just wanted to say, so something that's really cool, everyone, is that the DAO put together 65 art kits for tonight. And all 65 were registered and accounted for, which is amazing because that means we have 65 people on this call tonight who are all going to be doing some fantastic art. I can't wait. I'm like a stick person drawer, so I'm so excited for this because I need all the learning and all the tools I can get. So let's have some fun.
Stick figures count, Amber. Stick figure, like they totally count.
I'm in.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you here with Mary for a little bit. She'll give you a little bit of an introduction about herself. I'm going to pop on in a little bit. Please feel free to keep commenting if you guys have any questions. I'm going to be here. I see lots of people have been giving you some clappies and some twit. So we're excited for you, Mary, and we're ready to do some art. So
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Amber. Well, hello, everyone. Again, thank you so much for having me here. If you haven't met me before, my name's Mary. My pronouns are she, her, they. I'm just so happy to be here, and I'm excited to be working on this project. So I'm glad that everyone got their kits. Oh, there I am. I'm seeing the comments. This is awesome. So glad to have you here. If you have questions for me along the way, please let me know. If you have thoughts or ideas, or perhaps you just want to chat about how things are going in your life right now, that's okay too. That's all a part of what we do. So those folks who aren't familiar with the Living Room, we are kind of this weird arts organization. We're a part of something called the Art Hive movement, and basically believe in creating opportunities for people to create and share art for free. We believe that everyone is an artist. So even you folks out there who are a stick figure, if that's all you can do, if that's what you enjoy doing, then that's great, because that counts, right? And besides, if we put everyone's stick figures alongside one another, they'd all be so extraordinary and unique. One of these days, I'd like to have an art exhibit just about people's stick figures. It's on the to-do list. I'll get to it. But for now, for tonight, what I'd like to work with you folks on is a personalized pop-up shrine. Now, what's a shrine? It has a whole lot of connotations, right? There's all sorts of things there. But essentially, how I'd like to talk about it tonight, how we'd like to play with it, is creating a little space, a little kind of display for yourself or for your family, if you're working with a family, or your friends, your chosen family, whomever you might be in contact with, a little display that celebrates and honors you, right? So it can be an individual. It can also be your family, like I was saying, your chosen family, that celebrates what you love most, what makes you the unique and incredible human being that you are. All of those things in one place so that you can hang it up or display it on a little shelf or something and just celebrate yourself, honor yourself. Because you know what, as Amber was saying, things can be hard sometimes. And we can always, I think it's really easy to focus on the things that might be dragging us down, because that's life, right? We got to survive. We got to move forward. We got to overcome, and we do our best. But every once in a while, I think more often than we usually give ourselves time for, I think it's so important to celebrate the joy in things, to celebrate how incredible we are, how resourceful and resilient we are as human beings, because that's extraordinary. Look, we've come this far. How extraordinary is that? So let's take a little time to celebrate that, okay? So I'm going to switch up my cameras a little bit here so you can see what I've been working on. This is just one example of a pop-up shrine. Let's see. So believe it or not, this was used creating a lot of the supplies that were given to you in those fabulous little art kits. And I'll go through all of those supplies so you can see and learn how I've used them here. But we've used some of that mixed media paper to create this kind of, oh yeah, thank you. I'm enjoying this shirt very much. It's cool to be kind. Happy Pink Shirt Day, everyone. Let's see. So yeah, so here's an example of a shrine. It's just one example. This is one that I've been working on for myself. And I've used just the markers, these lovely little paints here. What's great about these paints in your art kit, they're not as strong as acrylic paints, but they act as a kind of watercolor too. They're nice and transparent, so you can play with it and layer it up and get different effects with it. I've also got the markers right here. They were used to make a lot of the accents on this. And of course, scissors and things like that, washi tape to keep it together. The kit is full of lovely little things. That being said, If you have extra supplies around the place that you want to gather for this, please feel free. I've also used a whole bunch of stuff like recycling materials that I have, like old book pages or newspaper pages. I've used pictures from magazines, as you can see, tissue paper that I had left over from gift wrapping. So you can use almost anything that you have on hand to create whatever you want or need to create. Now, talking about the shrine, where do you begin? Well, I'm going to recommend that to start with, that we all perhaps create some kind of, some symbol that represents ourselves. Yeah? So something that will act as the heart of your personalized pop-up shrine that you can build things around, that you can decorate and embellish as we go. Now, I'm probably not going to finish the shrine tonight, and you might not either, but that's okay. I want you to get a really good start on it. Do as much as you feel you can, and whenever you need to take a break, please do. You know, I'm not the boss of you. Just because I'm sitting here working away on art, you don't have to. If it feels better to take a little break, have a walk, make yourself a cup of tea, whatever you need to do, that is okay. You can always come back to this project later when you have time. And if it ever begins to feel sticky or crunchy, and if you're not enjoying what you're doing, again, take a break, step away. It's as easy as that. And sometimes once we've had a little time for ourselves and we can return and take a second look at what we've been working on, you'll probably see a whole bunch of beautiful stuff that you didn't even notice was there in the first place. Sometimes all we need to really fall in love with what we create is a little perspective. But I understand that everyone out there is an extraordinary creator. I know that. I trust that. I want you to trust it too. Okay?
Sorry, Mary, the one thing I just wanted to say about that too, because I know some people, so it's funny, you're sitting here saying this and I'm like, but what about if I miss something and I don't get it? And oh my God, what am I going to do? And that gives me a lot of anxiety. So saying that, I want everyone else who might have also had the same reaction that I did, know that this video will be, once we are finished live, it's uploaded forever to the DAO's social media page. So if you do need to take that break, please 100% feel free to do so, as Mary said, because that's the point in this. We're not trying to create stress over here. So take that break and then come back whenever it feels best for you, and know that this video will be here for you. So I just wanted to say that before you kept going. So
thank you so much. Thank you. And that's so, so, so important, because part of why we're here is so that you can enjoy yourself, you can relax, you can explore, play. The other thing I'd like to say, as a living room kind of one of the main guidelines of the living room, there's no perfection allowed. Okay. So if you have an inner critic like I do, I have a whole choir of them that sit there sometimes just saying really negative stuff in my ear. If your inner critic is being really loud and it's not letting you enjoy yourself and just get into the art and get a little bit messy and have some fun, let us know. We can talk to it. We can have a conversation, figure out what it wants. If it has nothing constructive to say, it's out of here. I will kick it out. You get to stay and make art, but the critic goes, okay? And if you do stumble along the way, maybe something doesn't work out the way you wanted, see where it takes you. Sometimes the mistakes we make in art can lead to fabulous discoveries. And hey, if you're going to make a mistake, why not make it in art? Huh? That's one of the best places to make it. So let us do some creative playing here. I'm going to get started on the steps of the shrine. Now, know that there's no wrong way to do this. Okay, so I've got 3 panels here, all kind of the same size, right? You can do it any way you like. If you'd like to turn an old Kleenex box into a shrine, or if you'd like to just do maybe 2 folds, almost like a card that stands up, or something that can go in a picture frame or hang on your wall, feel free to do that too. This is your personalized pop-up shrine, so make it your own. Take time with it, have fun, and don't feel like you have to recreate what you see here. This is just one example, and each one of us creates in such a unique way. That's what makes the world interesting, right? And if you've got other materials, as I was saying, that you'd like to involve in the process, please feel free to have fun with it. I think one of the little contests we're going to have, and Amber can sort of pop in a little later or explain a little bit more about this. Personally, I would love to see some of the shrines you folks create, okay? So at the end of this, I think we're going to have that little, like the giveaways that Amber was talking about. There's some really cool things that DAO has on hand. I'd love it if people could share pictures of their personalized pop-up shrines. So perhaps we can have a little, I don't know, the first 10 people to post images of their final, their finished shrines. Maybe that way you can win some things. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
That's right, Mary. So as Mary was just saying, we do have some prizes that we want to give. We would love to give one to every single one of you. We don't have that much prizes, unfortunately. So saying that, as Mary said, we want to be able to see the beautiful artwork that you guys are producing today. So when you guys are finished, again, whenever finished, it doesn't need to be at the end of the live. It can be tomorrow. It can be next week. But post your shrines in the DAO's social media pages. And for the first 10 people that post their shrines, you guys will win a prize. Okay. Also, the more interacting you guys do in the comments right now, there will be some prizes for that as well. Okay. So just to give you guys a little bit of an incentive, to get a little wild, to have a little fun, to bring a little smiles to your faces. We want to interact with you just as much as, well, I don't know if you want to interact with us, but we want to interact with you because that's the whole point of this is we're not alone here. So make sure you guys leave us those comments and we'll be interacting the whole time. All right. Have fun, everyone.
Bye. Bye, Amber. All right. So I'm going to put this aside and let's get started on a brand new shrine right from scratch. How about that? Okay. So just lay this over here. Just going to set it up to the side there. And, the first things first, why don't we get working on the base of our shrine? So in your art kit, you should have a really cool little pad of mixed media paper. I love mixed media paper. It's great with so many different mediums. You can paint on it. You can draw on it. You can use markers on it and it won't soak through. You can do interesting projects like this. It's thick enough that it gives you some structure and it'll stand up. So for the basis of your shrine, as I was saying, there's lots of different ways to do this, but I'm going to stick with like a three-sided pop-up shrine that can stand up. But because we only have an hour or so, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Put that aside for now. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this in half. So this will be, one piece will be the center of the shrine, and these will create kind of like little doors on it that can fold open. And I'm just going to use the scissors to cut it. I'm not going to measure it because it doesn't need to be precise. As long as it stays standing up, that's all good. And sometimes, like even in this part, I might be cutting it just straight down the center, but you can have a little fun with it as well. As long as the base is stable, you can create some designs, go ziggy-zaggy, create a shape in the front. You can have fun with it. So I've cut that in two, and now I'm going to flip those open so I can put those side by side. Now breaking out the washi tape. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use the washi tape to create a little hinge on each side of this. And you want to leave a little bit of space in between the main page or the main structure and the ones on the side, just so it can close easier and not sort of pop off its hinges. Does that make sense? Yeah? It's just a little bit of space in between. Now, if your washi tape isn't thick enough, or perhaps, every once in a while you get a tape that isn't as sticky as you'd like to be, it's more decorative and fun, but it doesn't quite act like tape, you can also use your glue stick and some loose paper that you happen to have around, tissue paper or bond paper, just, your ordinary average kind of paper, maybe some old book pages, and create a paper hinge in the same way that we're doing with the washi tape. Let's do this. It's just a way of sticking the two pieces together, but keeping enough movement in between them that they can fold. And I promise once we get past this structural stuff, we'll be able to get to all the fun creative part of it. So again, leaving a little bit of space. So I might just flip this over now so I can see where I'm laying this. And matching up the edges. Come. And yes, sometimes I talk to my art. If you notice that, it's something I do. I find it helps the process. Let me know if anyone else talks to their art. Let me know. I find it helps. All right. So there we go. Even on the inside here, I might put some washi tape as well, just to strengthen it that much more. Now this tape might get covered up as we go along. That's okay. You might like the way it looks. I've done pop-up shrines before where I've actually used the tape as a border. I've kind of wrapped the edges of the entire shrine in the tape just to give it a little bit of color, a little bit of pop. Whatever works for you. And if people do have questions, if I am going a little too fast, please let me know.
So Mary, we have a question here for you that says, how long have you been with the Living Room?
Whew, I've been with the Living Room, I guess, since its beginning. So the Living Room was founded 2013. It was kind of this exciting idea I had. Now, I'm not alone in this. The Living Room is a part of something called the Art Hive movement. So there's lots of art hives all over the place. And in fact, if you'd like to find if you're not based in Oshawa, but you'd like to find an art hive near you, you can even go to a website called arthives.org and learn about where other art hives are, right? But we founded ours in 2013. And that's when we started doing activities in the community, started doing a lot of exciting, basically anyone who wanted us to come out and create with them, we'd say yes. So if you had, I don't know, if you were hosting a bingo night, we'd come out to it. If you were hosting a community fair, we'd come out to it. One of our very first events where we tabled, I remember it was an Evening of Hope, and such a special event for us in the community. And we went out and we made wish flags with the community. So you can see there's so many exciting ways to contribute and create, and we'll always be there. We're always interested in taking part. But it was 2015 that we opened up the actual storefront studio space, and we had that for 5 or 6 years. Hello and happy Pink Shirt Day to everyone. Yes, indeed. And the storefront studio space was just a lovely space on Simcoe Street that people could come to, make art, hang out, connect, communicate with one another, talk about interesting things. Like a beautiful place to have awkward conversations as well, because that's how we become better humans sometimes, is like leaning into the awkward and helping people understand what it might be like to be us, or to be someone different, to be someone unique, right? There's only one place, there's a very, very few places where you get to connect with people who are, I don't know, it's a safe place to be whatever and whomever you need to be in that moment to discover yourself, because humaning is a creative endeavor as well. Right? The art of humaning is not one that we get taught in school. Sometimes we're not taught how to human by our families. So we need to kind of explore that, take that journey on our own. And art is a wonderful way to be able to explore that, explore who we are, what we love, how we love, who we want to be in the world, who we want to be in the world today, right? There's all sorts of ways of expressing ourselves. Like visual art, like this is just one kind of art. There's so many other kind of arts. So that's a very long-winded way of answering that question. I hope I answered that question. But yeah, I've been with the Living Room since the beginning. We had to close the storefront studio space in October because of the pandemic. But as you see, we're still here. We do online programming as much as we possibly can. And we've actually got a grant to create a mobile art studio, kind of like a food truck. But instead of selling tacos, we're going to travel art experiences around and provide people with workshop kits and that kind of stuff. So you'll see us again.
I just had to jump in because that sounds fantastic. A traveling art. Oh my God.
We're excited.
That is really exciting. I can't wait for this. Okay, so I'm going to become an artist. This is so exciting. Oh my God.
Amber, you are an artist. How many times do I have to say it?
That's right. Okay, that's okay. Pause. I have to change. I'm really trying to change my mindset lately from like a more negative one to a positive one. So yes, I am an artist. It's actually really interesting too, because people always, I always say, I'm not an artist. I can't draw. I can't paint. And then, but I'm a drag performer. So they're like,
so, yes, what are you talking about? That happens that happens so much at the studio. People say, oh, no, I'm an artist. And I'm not an artist. And it's because we're comparing ourselves to something we've been told is art. Something, there's all that kind of Eurocentric idea of what fine art is and who artists are allowed to be. And all of that is baloney, right? It's just not, it's not true. And we know it's not true. And there hurts, right?
We have a comment that says life is art.
Yep.
And that gives me goosebumps when I hear that.
It is, right? What are we without that ability to create ourselves, to express? Like when we talk about self-expression, who are we? That's what it is. That's we are each of us works in progress.
Exactly.
And as soon as we lose that, as soon as we lose sight of that, we sacrifice a bit of ourselves, and we shouldn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, don't you tell me that drag isn't art. That is, holy moly. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
But you're not alone. People forget all the time. They'll say, I'm not an artist, until they say, oh, but I do make jewelry, or I'm a gardener, or like I sew my own clothes, or I crochet, comfort mats, or, it's just so funny how we marginalize those parts of ourselves somehow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, let me see what we're doing here.
Do we have any other?
Okay, so we have a question here. Can people do clay work at the living room?
You know what? Like at the living room, when it was open, there was every possible form. Like you could walk in and there were just shelves and shelves of supplies. So oftentimes we did have clay. It's basically whatever's on hand and whatever you feel like creating. And the virtual art studio is something very similar. We can't gather in person right now, but we encourage folks, bring the supplies that, gather the supplies, whatever supplies you have on hand. And it's not so much about, I'm not so much an art teacher per se. We're just together creating, sharing space, walking alongside of one another, providing that kind of support when we need it. And we all need it, folks. We all need it. Every once in a while, you just need to be like this, the theme of, these evenings. We're not alone, and we don't have to be alone. We might be on our own physically, but that doesn't mean we have to feel that sense of, aloneness in the world, right?
What did you just say there? We might be alone, but we're not alone.
We might be on our own, right?
We might be on our own. That's right.
But not like, we might literally physically be in a space on our own, but that doesn't mean someone to reach out to. There's always someone that we can connect with. And that's one of the blessings, but like of technology, really. There's a lot of inequity out there in the world. Technology, that's one of them I'd like to address one day, but one thing at a time. Tonight we're
going to do some art.
Tonight we do some art. And that can be revolutionary in its own way. Absolutely.
Oh boy, can it ever.
But yeah, that expression, that, performance, there's so many things. My background, I'm an actor and I'm an art therapist. So two really weird and not always, they don't always mesh easily. But there are two things I love. I love story. And I think that's what art is. It tells stories. Whatever kind of art you choose to do, like makeup, nail art, there's, singing, crocheting, cooking. It all tells a story about who we are and what it's like to be us in the world. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It does.
Yeah. How are folks doing out there?
That's what I was actually just my knees locked. So I was getting my knees here. And I was about to say, all right, friends and family at home. How are you guys doing? Right now, Mary is creating the most beautiful, oh my God, like the colors, the way they're blending there.
Well, that's like these little pots of paint. They're simple, but you can get a lot of pop out of them. What I'm going to do, I'm creating the base here so I can put it aside and I'm going to let it dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to work on some of the images that are going to go on top of this. Oh, I'm glad it's fun. I see. Hello, Anne. Awesome. I'm so glad you're having a good time. And as you're creating too, I want folks to think about, why, like, what is it about this shrine that you need? What do you need to be reminded of in your life right now? What is something perhaps you need to see every day? What is something you'd like to honor about yourself? And, it only needs to make sense to you. It doesn't need to make sense to me. It doesn't need to make sense to anyone else who sees it. That's another thing I love about art. It can, it communicates so much, but it doesn't necessarily have to rely on words to communicate those things, right? So again, it doesn't need to make sense to anyone else but you, right? So if we use certain symbols, for example, if you I always like to start a shrine with some kind of centralized symbol. On my other one, I felt compelled to create a heart. Oh, it's so great. Hello, Madison. Thanks for joining us tonight. So the heart symbol played a big role. It plays a big role in a lot of the stuff I do. I think because for me personally, I can't imagine living a life without heart. It's not that I'm falling in love with everyone all the time, although, there's so many amazing people out there. But I think it's about living life in a heartful way. That's a really important thing for me. So when you're creating this, what are some of the things that are important to you? What are some of the elements that you'd like to represent in your pop-up shrine? So that when you look at it, when you arrange things on it that are special to you, how will it speak to you? Symbols, again, are really, really important. It doesn't have to be a symbol like a heart. It could be an animal, right? Are you a lion heart? Do you have the spirit of a phoenix?
We've got people saying here that my theme, so Wanda says, my theme is kindness.
Yes.
I love that.
I love that too. Think of all the, got shirts on right here. And when you think about kindness, what are some of the images or colors or shapes that come to mind? There's so many, right?
That's so true. And that actually is interesting because, the word kindness, that actually can be represented differently to different people.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to let it dry for a second and I'm going to move on to another image. All right. Let's see. I'm going to break out my mixed media paper again. And kindness. Oh, let's see. Structure. So Madison saying how a mosaic, as chaotic as it may be, can create structure from disorder. Oh, Madison, right?
That was deep right there.
And that's one of the reasons I love things like collage. I love mosaic. If you think about that idea of storytelling again, not one of us is, one-dimensional. There's so many elements to ourselves that come together to create this fabulous whole. And not all of them are pretty, right? Some of them are rough around the edges. There are some things that don't necessarily seem to go along with everything else. But when you put it all together, the story it tells is beautiful and absolutely unique, right? Oh, rainbows and crazy prints. Yes.
I know. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to commission. I'll buy your artwork after it's done, okay? Because that sounds fabulous. Rainbows and crazy prints. What is crazy prints? Like polka dots or
good question.
Leopard skin or zebra stripes? Kind of crazy prints. Wanda said that pink. So when kindness, pink is what they represent as kindness.
Lovely.
And Melanie says they're doing a bunch of colors.
Why not? Right? Why not? And again, this is just because it's so personal to each one of us, even if that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing pictures being shared because I want to see all of them together in some kind of loving, fantastic gallery of kindness to self, What am I going to do? I think heart, I feel compelled to do heart, but I also feel drawn to do stars today.
Okay, Mary, are we on the same wavelength? Because I was literally thinking hearts and stars. Like,
No.
I was thinking hearts and stars. That's literally what I was thinking, hearts and stars.
Okay, all right. Well, are you working on anything tonight? Have you got your art kit handy?
I don't.
That's okay.
Okay, I did bring my pencil case with some stuff in it, and I do have a piece of paper here, so my big thing is I doodle, and especially when I'm like watching, I'm like doodling, so that's what I'll do right now.
Go for it.
And then I'll show you guys after. All right, let's see. Abby says, I have 6 paintings. You can have them.
Woo!
All right, I'm in. I got some artwork. My favorite type of artwork that we have up around my condo right now is like this kind of artwork, like artwork that wasn't, you didn't buy at your artwork store or like, okay.
Yeah.
Words aren't coming right now, but like, yeah, I love unique pieces. I love stuff that are done by, like the little artists, because I just think their work can be so powerful and so beautiful. So that's what I literally have up all around my house right now.
You have to surround yourself with things that you love, right? You can't be just and like, that's another part, like where we're like, our spaces, our personal spaces, if we're lucky enough and to have some of those spaces, why not make it your own and fill it with things that remind you of the kind of beauty you enjoy, because it's not going to look the same for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And again, just that, like, shaking up that idea of, the Eurocentric idea of what fine art is. We need to rupture that anyways.
Mm-hmm.
We've had enough of, no offense to, I'm going to be a little ageist here. No offense to old white guys on horses in front of mansions, but I don't need any, I personally, opinions are my own, don't need any more of that kind of art right now. Right? I want to see new stories. I want to hear new voices.
Yes. New stories, new voices, new colors, new
You got it.
patterns.
And we're in a really exciting time right now. I feel like that is something that's happening. And it's happening because of events like this. It's happening because of communities like this that are coming together to say, we matter. And the stories we have to tell matter. And there's a kind of courage in owning that and being able to step into that and say, what I do matters and who I am matters. And I want to share that part of myself. Not everyone needs to, not everyone wants to, but I think it's knowing that you can, right? And you won't be alone. There will be people there to support you. There will be people there to mirror back that beauty, beauty that means something to you, right? That's what it's about at the end of the day. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps as you're talking. I'm like, whoo, like they're just going down my arms here. And I'm just like, oh, beautiful. Yep.
Changing the world one bit at a time.
One piece of art at a time. We got this.
Got it. Yes.
All right, everyone. So I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Again, drop in the comments. We want to interact with you guys. Let us know how your art is going. What are you guys drawing right now? So as you guys can see, Mary has got a beautiful star here. Oh my God. Is the star 3D? It looks 3D.
No, I'm just using, I have like the markers that were in the kit and I'm adding in some, I had a pen, like a fine liner here. So I'm just kind of doodling, like you were saying, like you were talking about. I'm just letting it happen. And I'm going to create this central image that can go, oh, lovely, love it. That is a fun looking heart, Amber. I'm just letting, myself play and create and see what comes of it.
Ooh, Julia says that they have a huge sunflower as their center.
Oh, yes.
I never thought of flowers, but I love roses.
So yeah, so the symbols, different symbols of self that are out there. There's nature, there's plants, wildlife, the animals, the cosmic, there's so many beautiful ways to represent ourselves. This is, Yeah. Find the one that feels right to you. And I like what I'm going to do with this when it's done. I'm going to cut this out and place it on there. I might collage around it. But I also like the idea of, I was saying at the top, like, we may not finish our shrines tonight. That's okay. And sometimes that's even better than rushing to complete it all at once, because we allow ourselves some time to make changes, and we can add other things. What you feel like right now, tomorrow you may not feel like it. So you know what? Add something else into your shrine. Okay.
So when we're doing these shrines, I'm feeling as though, like, I'm getting vision board vibes off of it.
It's kind of a little bit. It can act as a kind of vision board. I like to, like, the difference for me is, and everyone does a vision board in a different way as well.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think of vision boards, I'm thinking of kind of visualizing what I want for myself in the future. I'm thinking about things I want to make space for in my life and attract into my life. Those elements can absolutely be in your shrine. Absolutely. However, I think the difference for me with like a pop-up shrine is celebrating the things that are here now, and celebrating also, the things that maybe contributed to who we are, that we want to hold on to. So, for example, I have a friend who has a Lizzo shrine, and it's central to who they are and how they move through the world. There's not a picture of them, but a picture of Lizzo smack dab in the center of that, doing the Lizzo thing. And for them, it's so much a part of who they are. Lizzo just became this manifestation, this representation of that, right? But every time they see that, they know it's, speaking to them about who they are and where they're at in their life right now. So that person, like Lizzo, has helped this person become who they are, and represents so many of the things they want to be reminded of every day about where they're at and how they want to move into the world. It's not necessarily speaking to the future. It's about, this is where I'm at right now. And, these are the things that have helped make me in the best possible way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So really living in like the present. So I like that. I always say that too. I always say it's really awesome to have goals and to, work towards our dreams and stuff like that. Those are all great things because they send us on a good path forward.
Yep.
But we have to remember to live in the now, because we only have today. Like tomorrow is not guaranteed, tomorrow's not guaranteed, and yesterday's already gone. So quotes, like I'm the quote queen. Like quotes like give me goosebumps. It's like crazy. But yeah, so that totally makes sense.
Yeah. And again, you can it's your shrine, so do whatever you want with it. Make it your own. And if you want to have future-y things in there, do it, right? It's something you're going to be seeing every day, so it's worthwhile including that if it feels right to you, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes with, all right, let's see. Let's start with that. Yeah. This is going to be really colorful. I feel like this is leading into Gem and the Holograms territory for some reason. Let's see.
You have someone here that said, I have a rainbow eye looking thing with warm colors on one side and cool colors on the other. That's there.
Love it, right? That's says so much. Like in your shrine too, like that you can play with space as well. Like with these three, if you're making a 3-sided one as well, you can play with things like, if you wanted to, like past, present, future. You could do that, right? Break it up into different segments that represent different things to you. Actually, yeah, that would be a really cool thing to do. Yeah. Thank you for that.
I might do that because I actually really I love the idea of like the vision boards, but I like the idea of, like recognizing what happened in the past and living in the present, and then, working towards the future. So after I'm done this, I might pull my art supplies out and do my own little arts and crafts over here.
Please do. Yeah, please do. Like shrines in the past have been used for so many different reasons. I think it's easy to get tangled up in kind of religious ideas, and that's not so much my thing. For me, it's about ritual. I think rituals can be important, the rituals from like simple things like well, having breakfast can be a ritual. Painting your nails can be a ritual. Like there's lots of different ways we can make time for ourselves and honor ourselves. Making art can be a ritual. So why not, I think shrines remind us that we can create ritual in our own lives that celebrates ourselves, and we can make that. We don't have to wait for anyone else to decide that for us. We can do it for ourselves. It's a lovely kind of thing. I don't know.
We have another comment here, and maybe you can address it. So someone says, I love art and follow artists, but have a hard time believing in my own art.
Claudia, you're not alone there. I think that comes with part of this journey of, growing up in the way that we do, in the culture that we do. It's so hard not to compare ourselves to other people we adore and admire. It's really natural. And whenever we create something, we're always kind of comparing it to what we see other people doing. And that's a very natural thing. I think something that's important to remember, now I can't remember who shared this with me. I think it was on one of our live streams, or someone pointed out that you can be a fan of other people's art, and not, your own art. You may not be a fan of your own art. This might sound strange. You might not be a fan of your own art, but your art is absolutely important and essential because it's made by you. That's what makes your art so extraordinary, that you're the only person in the world who can tell this story in that way. And trust that there are other people out there who are looking at your art in the same way that you're looking at theirs. And it's always going to be that way. But the more you trust yourself in the process and allow your art to be whatever it needs to be to tell the story that it's telling in that moment, that you're helping, you're facilitating, you're telling that story. If we can allow that to be what it needs to be, you will get to the point where you begin to love what you do and recognize just how awesome you are, I suppose. Right?
It's so true. We're all, like, in all aspects of life, I want to say, we're almost always our own worst critics.
Yeah.
Like, you're looking at your artwork, like I'm looking at my artwork and I'm thinking, this is awful. And there are 10 other people who are looking at my artwork right now and going, oh my God, that's beautiful. That's amazing. That's lovely. So someone's loving your art. So even if you're not loving it right now, someone is loving it. So love it too.
Yeah. It's a kind of unconditional love that we want to, we've all got to start somewhere, right? Like learning about what that kind of love is a difficult thing. We begin by showing it to ourselves, and it's practice because we're not taught how to love ourselves in that way. So it's really hard sometimes for me to love me, but I can practice loving me through loving my art a little bit. I can build it up. I can build it up a little bit, bit by bit.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Baby steps, right?
We also had another comment here, and actually I just wanted to say, someone said, so Claudia actually also said, I sometimes have a hard time starting a new art piece, but once I start, I feel good. So one thing that I wanted to touch on that is that I've been trying this new skill lately, and it's called the 5-4-3-2-1 rule, because I'm an overthinker. And so when I want to do something, I know I'm going to think about it so much, and 9 times out of 10, I'll talk myself out of it. Like, how many of us have, been thinking about something, walking around a store, and then we talk ourselves out of buying that gorgeous shirt, right?
Yep.
So what I've done is now when I want to make a decision, when I want to take action. So when you want to do your artwork, you sit down, you look at your artwork, and you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you take action. You go, you do something. You put that pen to the paper. So in terms of artwork, I've been using it to get out of bed in the morning. So when my alarm goes off, I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I spring out of bed, no thinking about turning the alarm on snooze. So just a little tip that I've been trying to use, and it actually has been working really, really positively the last couple of weeks. So try it. You'll see how it goes.
I love that idea because it is a little bit like exercise, isn't it? Sometimes just like jumping into it, just like get going, get started on something, even if it is something small, and see where it takes you. But yeah, if we allow ourselves to get distracted, or yeah, it's easy to not do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But building in that time, allowing yourself that time, like either setting aside time to do something, or yeah, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, just sort of launching, going, that's it. That can be really super helpful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just the base is kind of finished now, so I have my kind of central idea. You folks might be way ahead of me on this because I've been chatting and everything like that. Keep on going. If you're enjoying what you're enjoying, I'm going to start looking for some other little collage-y bits and pieces to add in around this idea. And for me today, this little shrine is about shining. It's about not being afraid to shine and shining on my own terms, not anybody else's. So I'm just going to look for some other images that I can pull. And I do so love having a collage file. For all you folks out there who like collaging, I love that. I find pictures or images along the way that I, may not know how to use in the moment, but I love putting them aside, keeping them in a folder, because you never know when you might want. There's something colorful. You can pull them out and use them later on down the road. I want to thank everyone for such lovely, thank you for your honesty. Thank you for sharing your creative journey. Oh, interesting. Do I want that image? Maybe I do. Let me grab the scissors. Not sure how I'll use it, but we'll see.
So Mary, while you're looking for your pictures here, I'm just going to quickly, so as everyone knows, today was Pink Shirt Day. So standing against, I have my Invisaligns in and I'm still, anyways, standing against bullying. So we had some people send in pictures today of them wearing their pink shirts, whether it was the DAOs, it's cool to be kind with our little pride unicorn here, or whether it was just your pink shirt that you have in your closet. So I just wanted to share these pictures with you quickly here because I just thought it was fabulous that we had so many people
love it
take part in our Pink Shirt Day today. Thank you for everyone who sent in their photos with their t-shirts today. We're all twinning and I absolutely love it. These are all friends and families from the community.
Yes.
I'm guessing some people don't like taking selfies. Which is totally fine, folks, because I don't really like taking selfies either.
Love it.
And there's our last one there. So again, thank you everyone who wore a pink shirt today. And oh no, not that one. This one. I don't know how to get rid of that in the background. Oh, wait, here. Not that. There we go. I'm still getting used to technology a little bit. This pandemic has definitely allowed me to learn a lot faster than I would have.
You and me both.
Yeah.
You and me both.
So we have Devoit O Virtue, which is actually a drag queen that performs at Club 717, said, so amazing to be able to stay connected with so many amazing online events.
Lovely. I agree, right? What would we do without this?
It's been fabulous the last 5 weeks. And then today I'm having just so much fun here.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, a little bit of arts and crafts, a little bit of artsiness, getting down to it, figuring out, making meaning of all this stuff, celebrating ourselves through art, having fun.
Yeah, I always feel like art brings you back to a place of like juvenile. And I say that in like a not juvenile. Okay, what's the word?
No, I think I know what you mean, though. It is that kind of playful play that we get older. Like sometimes when we get older, we leave behind, we forget, we think, well, it's not really practical, or, for us grown-ups who are here tonight, like there's a sense of, well, I'm an adult now. I shouldn't, I've got other more important things to do. And it's like, really? But do you? But
Yeah.
do you? And we stop creating and we start being super critical of ourselves in everything that we do. And, I'm biased, granted, but I do, I'm someone who believes that creativity should be in every part of our lives. We shouldn't only, think of creativity as being connected to like making visual art. We should, I'd love a life where everything involves some kind of creativity culture, because I think it does at the end of the day, in our conversation and how we dress, how we present ourselves to the world, how, creativity is, whether we like it or not, is a part of everything we do. So why not become more comfortable with it? And as we do that, maybe we'll become less afraid of, making those mistakes, looking silly. That's, looking silly. Oh my goodness. If I love, like, I think it's that lovely part about owning our weirdness, knowing ourselves enough so that we can become confident and comfortable in who we are in our own skin. So, we can be silly. We can be fun. We're not afraid of making mistakes because we know as powerful creators, we can transform those mistakes into something else.
Actually, saying that, I have something. Oh,
ooh, okay. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know what it is, but I'm so excited to see it. I'm going to continue cutting out some of these things. I don't know why.
Okay. So, my partner got me this for Christmas, and it sits on my desk, and it says, "Be afraid not to try." And then if you flip it, it says, "Don't be afraid to fail." And I don't even like the word. I don't like the word failure, because actually I posted today.
Yeah.
What is it? You win some and you lose some. So you win some and you learn some, because we don't lose. There's no losing. We just live and we learn. And if something didn't go the exact way that we wanted it to, that's okay. It doesn't mean we lost. It doesn't mean we failed. It just means that we were able to learn and grow as human beings. And there's nothing better than growing. And if I stop growing one day, it's over. Like, I want to be able to, like, everyone always says, like, that I want to be able to learn until my very last day. I want to learn. I want to continuously learn, because that's what makes this world so amazing, is being able to learn all the awesomeness that is a part of it. So
yes. Like, can you imagine how incredibly dull it would be to think, oh, well, that's it. There's nothing else to discover. I don't know. No. Luckily, life isn't like that. Luckily, there's always something to learn. I remember one of my favorite experiences in theater school was just flopping horribly working on something. And luckily, I mean, forgive me if you've heard the story before out there, folks, but luckily the director, the teacher who was working with us at the time, was just patient enough with my own kind of dramaness to be able to say, just, take a minute. And the truth was, if I hadn't made that mistake, that huge, what felt so embarrassing at the time, actually led to this remarkable discovery that was the key to everything. And I wouldn't have been able to get there if not for like falling on my face. And that's where I learned, she's like, well, you fell on your face, but at least you fell forward.
I like that. At least you fell forward.
Yeah, that's what we do. And it's, and sometimes we might fall backwards too, but it's, we can always pick ourselves up. I think the resiliency of the creative spirit allows us to do that. Other folks who maybe have cut themselves off from their creativity or decided that, that they can't risk exploring or looking silly, or, it's a very limiting life. It's a very limiting experience. But when you can embrace that part of yourself, everything becomes a potential adventure.
Amen. All right, so let's see here. Hey, if I didn't fall, so Wanda says, hey, if we didn't fall, we would have never walked. And that's actually really true. I hear that a lot lately. It's said that if a baby fell the first time they tried to walk and they decided, well, not doing that again.
Yeah.
We'd all be crawling around on the ground right now, folks. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, that might be kind of cool, but walking has definitely allowed us to advance.
Absolutely.
So yes, I totally agree with you, Wanda.
And all great to know.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Wanda, yes, if you sent your picture to the DAO messenger, that is perfect. Someone might not respond right now, and that's totally okay. But if you've posted it there, then yes, that's 100% where that photo should go. And we'll get them uploaded to our social media pages, as long as you guys are okay with that, later tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, if folks want to share.
Later sometime this week.
If folks want to share, but they don't want their image to be shared with the community at large, just let folks know, because this can also be a very personal project, and you might be super proud of it, but you may not feel like it being, thrown up on social media. So just, I guess, remind folks. Is that okay, Amber, if folks remind?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
Let's see, what else do we got here? Anne, excellent point, Miss J. I don't know which point it was, but thank you very much, Anne. I appreciate it. Oh dear, I'm good with that. Okay, perfect. All right, how's everyone's artwork? Look at Mary's here. Is that like fireworks that you're cutting up there?
I'm not even sure what it is. I think it's some kind of sea creature, glow in the dark sea creature, but I'm going to kind of build it around the star, I feel.
Yeah.
And with collage too. Sometimes I don't start gluing things down right away. What I'll do is I'll cut them out and then I'll move them around a little bit until they feel right. And then I'll start gluing things down. Does anybody else feel they're working on collage as well? Let's see.
Oh, someone said that they're, so Melanie said they're making a Save Club 717 sign.
Oh, well, Save Clubs? Why? What's happening? Oh, no.
I'm guessing it's just because the club's not open right now. So they're just like, wanting to support the club and don't want to see it, not reopen when it's safe to do so, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I think no matter what, one thing I've learned about this community too, like in Durham Region specifically, community wise, is that we're pretty, again, the word resilient keeps coming up again and again and again, but there's, I feel like it, even if it had to close even temporarily, or if it, it'll come back. I don't think it'll be the end of it. I think, yeah.
We have a very strong, passionate community surrounding us, and yeah.
But it would be cool. It would definitely be cool to see a little shrine there. If someone wants to make a pop-up shrine for the club.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
I wonder what would go on that shrine.
My first thought is rainbows.
Definitely. Definitely.
Maybe a unicorn.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh. Some music notes. Oh, music. That's another thing too. When it comes to like art, music is also art. So people who sing or dance or play an instrument.
Oh yeah.
People who can play instruments are mind-blowing to me.
Well, there's again like so many different ways to create. We forget sometimes. We think of art being visual art and visual art alone, but there's spoken word, there's music, there's dance, there's like so many different ways, so many different extraordinary things.
Mm-hmm. So the DAO here has said that, Club 717, it's such an important safe space and one of the only ones like it within the Durham region, which is important to point out, is that, yes, we're, Club 717 is a very unique space and it's home to a lot of people, or second home, home or second home. So we miss it. And we're that's why I feel so thankful. And I know I can speak for probably a lot of us that we're very thankful for these workshops so that we can still, again, like we talked about at the beginning, we can still get together. The name of this web series is that you are not alone. Even though, as Mary said earlier, you might physically be alone right now, whether it be, like in your house, but you're not alone. You've got a community surrounding you who loves you, who wants to lift you up, and again, see you be nothing but happy, strong, confident, and living your best lives. So thanks everyone again for being to all the workshops that we've had so far and being here with myself and Mary today.
Oh, it's such a thrill. Yeah, thanks. If folks are tuning in now to the live stream, or perhaps you're watching it once it's archived, I really, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this evening and to share some of what I love doing with you. It's just such an honor. I can't even begin to say thank you. Yeah. What do I want to do here? Let's see. Sometimes when I'm cutting out images for collage, it can be the same for vision board or any other activities I do. I'm not even sure why I like them so much. I'm not sure why they speak to me, but I still, I trust that they're there for a reason. And sometimes when I'm putting images or making art down, I don't sweat it too much. If I don't quite, I don't try and figure everything out as it's happening. I let myself grow into some pieces now and again. Does that make sense? After you've created it, once everything is laid down, you might, like a few days later or a few weeks later, you might look at it and you'll say, oh my goodness, that's why that's there. That's what this picture means. This symbol means. That's what it means. Just give yourself a chance to be surprised by your own work. Now, let's see. So it's funny, I begin to cover stuff up that's there, but I can always go back in afterwards and add more paint or details over certain things. And as I'm laying things down, maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know.
I'm loving Mary, you can still hear me, right?
I can, yeah.
Okay, perfect. We wanted people to be able to see like the full artwork that you're doing here. So I've just put my sound on, but it looks great so far. But I do like what you said there, that again, you can always change it. Like it's not something that you have to make and then that's it. It's done. You guys really, it's your artwork. You can do whatever you want with it.
It's so important to remember that. And it's another thing too. One of the things I love about art, we don't always have the control we want in everyday life, but we have the control of what we create and why we create it and how we express it, how we share it. So if you're creating something and it doesn't feel right in the moment, again, like I said, give yourself some time, step away, take a break, get a little perspective on it and come back to it, change it, right? You can always change what you're doing. Now, maybe I'll start with a glue stick just to put this on, and I might add some white glue. I have some tissue paper here that I painted designs onto. You can also, like I love saving all the tissue paper. I love incorporating tissue paper into as many projects as I possibly can. It's one of those great things that comes to you instead of recycling it, hold on to it and use it in your artwork. And I love painting designs onto it. You can draw with a Sharpie or marker, create pattern tissue paper. And it's great when you want to use it in mixed media art, like something like this. Once the glue is on there, it becomes kind of transparent. So the other colors that are underneath it come through and it adds that other layer of vibrancy to your projects. So I'm going to start adding some other layers on. And it's definitely, as I'm creating this, it seems, and I know it's got to be influenced by the fantastic conversations and the comments and the questions folks are sharing. Oh, I see comments now. There we go. Hello. There we go. Thank you so much for having me here, everyone. Again, it's so great. If you have questions, ask. I can see some of the chat alongside now, so that's amazing. I'm just going to add some of this tissue paper on. Creating layers That's all that this is about, creating layers. I've also got some white glue handy. Again, you might not, if all you have is a glue stick, that's fine. You can work with that. But if you do have some white glue, sometimes with certain things, it's easier to collage those things on. I don't know if I can only open the glue in the first place. Nope, that's not happening. Child-proof glue caps.
I love it's actually really funny because there's sometimes I'm a nanny.
Oh yeah.
So I do arts and crafts lots. But sometimes, yeah, like I'm trying to get this thing off, and then my 3-year-old comes over and they're like, "Pop," and I go, "Okay, wow." Apparently, it's not child-proof, but it is amber-proof.
Oh, let's see. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue and water, and I'm going to just put that over top of that piece of tissue paper that I've glued down. Yeah, I love working with mixed media stuff. I love exploring with textures and layering images over top of one another. I'm just playing with all that stuff. Yeah, I think I'll add some of this in there too. And just having fun with it. Again, taking some, take some risks with your art. See what you can do. If you make a mistake, you can always paint over it. You can collage over it.
What I love that you're doing, or like that you just did with that piece of paper in particular, is that you weren't precise. You just,
oh gosh, no.
and I like that because unfortunately, and my issue when it comes to visual arts is that I am a bit of a perfectionist, and so I do get a little bit like when it's not perfect and like set, like symmetrical.
Yeah.
So I have to learn to let go of that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go.
That's it, right? And I know some folks out there, and sometimes that exact thing, your brain just can't. It has a hard time being quiet. And I have my projects where that happens too, where something happens and it's all I can see and I can't move beyond it. Again, another great time to take a break. Or just let it be what it needs to be. So sometimes when folks come in the studio, or even myself, if I'm having a really hard day getting started on something, I'll just invite myself to make some ugly art. Like that is the best way to kind of warm up into something. Let yourself really, with full intention, like wholeheartedly, make something ugly. Try your best to make something as ugly as you possibly can. And you'll surprise yourself. I guarantee it. You'll surprise yourself with how extraordinary the thing is that you're creating, even though you didn't mean to, even though you were trying not to. Because we can, it's just another way of tricking your brain into letting it, trusting itself somehow. Because it's hard. Yeah, that's that voice of the inner critic that just wants things to be just so. And why do we get that's a whole other thing. Why do we get so angry with ourselves? Why are we so unkind to ourselves when I'm betting most of the time we're so supportive and encouraging to everyone else? That's a really interesting thing to explore and to understand. So when you find yourself being so hard on yourself and so sometimes downright cruel, right? Take a break and treat yourself like a friend. Try and treat yourself like a really good friend and just allow yourself to be okay. Oh, and excellent. Wanda says, I think ugly art is the most expressive art. Yeah. And who says, that's the other thing too. Who says, what is ugly? That's like saying normal. What is normal, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say when I saw the word ugly. What is ugly? Again, what is ugly to someone is beautiful. What is it? One's man trash is another man's treasure.
Absolutely.
So it's not, although we're not criticizing you for using the word ugly, Wanda, not at all.
No, no.
But yes, I would agree. The ugly art, I put that in quotes, but I do agree. It is like the most expressive because you literally just put everything out there not without thought, but without care. Like you don't care what anyone else is going to think about it because it's yours.
Yeah. And and sometimes art like needs to be ugly. That's the other thing as well, right? Like, not everything is pretty. Not everything is nice. And if we're talking, oh, I love Corey, keep your standards low and you'll always be happy with what you make. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. That's another entry point into that. Make some ugly art. Like when we release ourselves from the expectations of having to be a certain way, look a certain way, fit in a certain way, wonderful things can happen. And there we go. Like Melanie saying, art is not ugly. It's about the uniqueness of people, because what I decide to share, it may not appeal to you, and that's okay, right? I want it to, feel right to me. I may not even like what I do. I might not even think what I'm doing looks nice, but does it feel right? That's, I guess, overall is kind of the thing I try and go for. Does it feel right? Does it feel like it's doing what it needs to do? That's, if we could all live our lives that way, I think we get a lot more joy out of things. And yeah, ugly art. Sometimes, something needs to be ugly. And it's one way of, making our mark. It's one way of making sense of the world. And it's one way, like ugly art is also about letting the heavy stuff out, which is sort of where like art therapy comes into the mix a little bit, or making art for therapeutic reasons. We don't want to have to hold all of that stuff inside of us or carry all of that kind of darkness around sometimes, all the difficult stuff. So let it out. Make some ugly art about the difficult stuff. Let the paper or the page or the song or the notebook hold the hard stuff for you. So, it doesn't have to stay inside of you. Get it out. Get it out into the page or into the world, and, share it with folks. Let people help you carry that load a little bit. And Melanie again saying art is very gifted for some people, and art helps people with anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Absolutely. I think what you're saying there is interesting to me, because art making and what we make can be a gift. And the process of making it can be a gift to ourselves that we give to ourselves, to help us through some of those very difficult times that are hard to make sense of, right? Again, not everything can be put into words. We can't always explain things away or explain things in the way we want to. But when we're making art, when we're allowing ourselves to tell the story in another way, again, whether it's a song or a performance, a dance, a scarf, a sculpture, we can begin to make meaning of it. And I don't know if anyone else has had this experience of sometimes looking at someone else's art and thinking, like, something about this person, like there's something about that art speaks to you so clearly that you feel like, I know what this is about, even though I don't know this person, right? That's an important part of being alive, that we can communicate that way, that we can have that pleasure in one another's creative experiences. Am I making sense? Sometimes I go way out there, artsy fartsy. So let me know if I've gone too far out into the artsy cosmos. Just let me know and I'll kind of pull myself back in. Or you can help me pull myself back in.
No such thing. No such thing.
I just looked at the time and it's 7. I have like, where did the time go? Is it almost over? There we go. Wanda creating with a crochet hook and yarn. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. We've got 10 minutes left here. It's crazy what happens when time flies when you're having fun.
I'm loving this. I hope everyone else out there is enjoying it too, is benefiting from it. I hope you're having a good time kind of exploring who you are, like what your symbols are, how you would celebrate yourself through a shrine. Now, once, it dries or everything gets set, you can also add other things onto it as well. So, again, this is your shrine, so it can look like and be whatever you need it to be. If you have, maybe you want to, like Wanda with the crocheting, maybe you want to begin adding in some crochet fiber arts elements to it. We were talking the other day with someone in the studio about sewing and stitching on paper. Maybe you want to add some stitches to this. Maybe you want to glue on some like ribbon or some yarn or some costume jewelry that you have around, something to give it some sparkle and some, some bling. Feel free to do that. Feel free to have some fun. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to add a little halo on this person's head too. I thought this was going to be like a big starburst, but now I don't think I want it to be a starburst. I want it to be a kind of halo-like effect. So I'm going to cut it out. If I can find it, give me a circle. Let's see. Whoa, Madison, let's see. Ah, maybe, yes. Maybe. So Madison's saying, hold on, Mary, we've met at an award ceremony at the lake a year or two ago, working with Ontario Shores, DMHS, and other organizations. You had a booth set up. Yes. It was a large community dinner, and there were, I think I remember too. Yeah, absolutely. No, this isn't off topic, Madison. I think it's so fantastic. Thank you for remembering. There's so many people I've met out in the community, and I always love being reminded of that. I love when paths cross and overlap. Of course, art. It's going to happen through art, isn't it? Yeah, we love going out and, well, we can't necessarily do that now, but we can do things like this. We love meeting people, learning about people, reconnecting with people, using art to connect with people, and just telling stories, helping lift other people's stories up.
So Mary, saying that, if people were looking to do some more artwork and some more artwork with the living room,
yeah,
I used to drop into the living room, especially when I was in university, a couple times a month. And it was just such a relaxing environment, such a warm and welcoming environment. So where can people, participate in the living room art sessions going forward until we're finally open up and allowed to lick each other's foreheads again?
Until those days.
Right.
You know what we are doing, if folks are on Facebook, that's where a lot of the stuff we're doing now is happening. So for example, every Wednesday afternoon from 2 to 3:30 p.m., I do something exactly like this. I do a live stream, what we call like a pop-up art studio or a virtual art hive, where people can come and create and connect, chat with one another, make art with me, that kind of thing. We also have, what else? We got so much going on. On every Tuesday afternoon on Instagram, we do like a live stream artist interview where we connect with another creator or maker out there in the world, out there in the community who's doing interesting things. We've got different live stream events. We have a creative wellness Zoom that happens every Tuesday night now that folks can sign up for with two fantastic creative people in our community, Catherine Velkanis and Caitlin Kakish, who just are wonderful, supportive, just beautiful human beings. Kat is an art therapist and Caitlin is a social service worker. So they got you covered. They're there to support and be there and kind of walk alongside you in your creative endeavors. And we're hoping to do more in the future, more creative events, online, hangouts, just things where it can be easy to join and connect and participate. So keep an eye out. But the Facebook page is the easiest way, the Living Room Community Art Studio, to keep up to date with what's going on, like join events, things like that. And you'll hear probably, that's where you'll hear first about the mobile art studio as well when we're ready to get going.
Okay, so I need to go like the art studio's Facebook page now because I want to be the first one to utilize that.
Oh, we're so excited about the mobile art studio project for a lot of reasons, but it's just another way of getting out there and connecting with people and having some fun. Like we might be able to do more with the mobile art studio than what we were able to do in the physical studio space. Although, you know what? One day we hope to have another physical space as well. So one day that will happen too. Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, and anyone, again, I know it's not available right now, so go check out the Living Room's Facebook page and all of their amazing online events. But if you guys do have the opportunity once it is open, go check out the Living Room Community Art Studio space because as I just said, it is, like I'm getting goosebumps again. It is the most like tranquil, inviting, peaceful, comforting, like, and then the people that are there are always just fantastic as well. Again, same type of environment, same vibes. So make sure you guys go check it out because it's wonderful.
Yeah, we had to give up that space at 149, unfortunately. Very sad.
Really?
Yeah, well, but it was a decision we made with purpose. You know,
Okay.
I'm a big believer in, you know, there's so much in life we can't control. So what can we
Mhm.
manage? What can we work with? And so we chose to see, you know, what was happening as an opportunity to mix things up, to try something new, and to explore what other possibilities, what other potential things were out there. So we will have another physical space one day where you can just walk in off the street, grab supplies, make whatever you want to make. But for now, we're online. We're connecting and creating like this. And you'll probably see us in the mobile art studio. Hopefully early spring, early summer, like maybe early summer, probably. And we'll be sure to connect with you folks and let you know. And maybe there's a place we can come out or a park we can go to and hang out, spread out, and create beautiful artwork together.
Love
Right?
that. Actually, Corey here says, and the yard sales were dope.
Oh, Corey, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you just warmed my heart mentioning that to me. Tell you what, we did not, you know how that studio was full of stuff. We still have everything, and we moved everything into storage. And since then, we've received even more fabulous donations. So especially for folks, that whole fabric thing, we've got more. We can't wait for our first yard sale again. We might, yeah, we're going to have to do,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, you're getting a lot of comments about, yeah, they love the yard sales. And Madison said that they saw that you moved out of the location, but they're happy to see you virtually.
Oh,
And they said, any assistance needed, give them a shout.
oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Madison. Definitely. Definitely.
Corey says they're taking the whole lot. You don't need a yard sale. They're taking it all.
I dare you. There is so much. Yeah. We had a beautiful, another arts organization that had sort of altered and changed, and they had all this beautiful, oh, I could talk about that. You know what? I won't spend the rest of our evening talking about the fabulous fabric we have, but yeah, we're still accepting donations. We're still exploring things we can create together. And we're just doing it in a slightly different way. That's all. But if anyone needs anything, it's always worth, you know, email the studio. You can connect with us at info@livingroomcommunityartstudio.org. And if we have something and if there's a way we can get it to you, we'll do our very best. Or we might be able to hook you up with another organization that does have the capacity right now to get those art supplies to you. And everybody loves fabric. And yeah, so that we can keep creating, even though, because it's not always easy for folks to get out of their homes and, you know, do the kind of shopping. It wasn't even easy then, let's be honest. So we'll try and work together and keep connected and keep people creative.
I love
as much
that.
as we can.
And with that, Mary, we're coming very close to the end of our night here. I know, I'm so sad. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring myself on here.
Okay.
Okay. So, actually, no, you know what? I'm not.
Well, I'll go. Oh, what happened? Where did you go? Okay.
There you go. So do you just want to briefly just touch on the artwork that you just did, kind of what you have and, you know, where people can kind of go from here with their artwork?
Sure. You know what I'll do? I'll mix it up. So again, so here is what I've worked on so far. As you see, it's still a work in progress. There's still a lot that I can do with this. And I'm kind of excited by that. I want to give it some time. I don't want to have to rush it. And I don't want you to have to rush your artwork either. So I've started with a visual symbol. I've begun like looking for those other images that I want to add in. You can also draw in or paint in any images or words that speak to you. You don't have to collage things just because I'm collaging things. But I'm going to fuss with it a little bit more as this, you know, the next few days as they unfold to get it just so. Once I have this in the way, like once everything is the way I want it to look, when it feels right to me, when it's sort of speaking to the thing I want it to speak to, which today the theme for me is about shining and celebrating just joy, because there's not enough. I think there's never too much joy. We can never celebrate who we are, what we do, what we bring to the world enough in my mind. But once this is done, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it up, right? And I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to be working on the other side, because there might be times where I want to have this closed, where I don't want it to be open to the world. And I like the idea that it is something that is a bit private, that I can, you know, keep on display when I'm ready to keep it on display and then close it up when I want to. You know what I mean? And then once the whole thing is finished, feel free to set it up in your home in a space that feels right to you. And maybe, you know, add other things onto it, like shrines. Sometimes people might have like little lights around their shrine. They might put other little statuettes or pictures of folks they love, or pictures of themselves that they love, maybe little trinkets that speak to you that are special and bring you joy to look at and remind you at the end of the day just how beautiful and awesome you are, because that is what you are. You're beautiful and awesome and unique and a wonderful, perfectly imperfect works in progress. And I guess that's that.
That's goosebumps. Well, thank you so much, Mary, for being with us tonight. I learned a lot. I feel, well, I mean, the fact that I got goosebumps 10 million times in an hour and a half just means that tonight was fantastic, because when I get goosebumps, it means that, you know, I'm getting the good vibes coming in and the negative vibes going out. So that's what I have right now. So thank you so much. I'm sure everyone, make sure you guys leave all the love in the comments for Mary, wherever the comments are on your screen. Leave them for her. She's been fabulous. She says she's not good with tech, but she had 2 cameras and I could barely get one working. So it has been just fantastic to be able to partner with you and the Living Room Community Art Studio. It's awesome when community organizations can partner like this and come together to produce such awesomeness. So thank you, Mary, and thank you, the Art Studio.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being here. Lots of love to everybody out there.
Once again, just before we leave, we want to say thank you for the people who made it possible for us both to be here tonight. So the DAO and all of the wonderful, fabulous volunteers that they have pounding the pavements behind the scene right now to make sure that we as a community still have things that engage us, that make us smile, that make us feel like we're not alone. So thank you to the DAO and all of the volunteers. And thank you to our funders. So again, the Government of Canada, ECSF, Community Foundation of Canada, CFC, and Durham Community Foundation, DCF. Thank you for those 3 funders. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you. One last thank you I want to do is for all of you beautiful people who showed up tonight and put your hearts on a piece of paper, put your hearts, your soul and your emotions into your artwork. Thank you guys so much. Because again, without you guys, we are just people talking at a camera. And I mean, that's cool, but not as fun without you guys. You guys what makes this event this event. So thank you so much. This is the end of our You Are Not Alone series. And I'm so sad to say that. Now, saying that, make sure you guys stay tuned to the DAO's social media platforms. So whether it be Instagram, Facebook, I think we have other things too. That's all I have. So I know we have more, but make sure you guys stay tuned for more events that we will be hosting. Make sure you guys hop over to the Living Room Community Art Studios to see all the beautiful events that they will be hosting. Remember, everyone, you are not alone. Someone is always there for you. And if nothing else, message the DAO. You'll always have someone to talk to. We'll always be here for you. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Stay fabulous, stay fierce, stay fantastic. And until we see you guys again. Bye, everyone.
Bye.